Let's do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wrestling Experience. My name is Earl Cole, and welcome to Thursday. Welcome to the streams. Welcome to the Hardcore Sports Network. And if you landed on the mothership, that means there's only one thing. It's time for the experience. Oops. Okay.
It's only technical difficulties.
Sorry, folks. Sorry. Okay.
Awesome power of nature, hot excitement of freedom.
Because after you get struck by lightning, there's thunder.
Now with the hottest show in the universe, the Wrestling Experience, with your host Earl Cole.
Acknowledge me.
Coming at you with all the dope shit, freshest WWE content, and also the AEW. You are now watching The Experience, the Wrestling Experience. Now with your host Earl Cole.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wrestling Experience. My name is Earl Cole, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, you've landed on Planet Experience. Welcome to another Thursday edition of the Wrestling Experience. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite last night took place in beautiful San Francisco, California, and the historic Cow Palace. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss that. And we're also going to be discussing Revolution. We're going to predict Revolution as the card stands right now. But before we get to all of that, plus, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about Kenny Omega also. So we got a lot of things on our menu. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to my guest. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's back for the third time ever on the Wrestling Experience. He is my ride or die on Monday night. He is a passionate Net fan. He's a passionate Mets fan. He is the most busiest person of the Hardcore Sports Network. Please help me welcome the one and the only, the incomparable Mr. Jeffrey Turner. Jeffrey, welcome to the Wrestling Experience.
Vince McMahon is the greatest creator in all of WWE. He's the best thing ever going. Everybody bow to the great Vince McMahon. I'll forget about that. We all know the truth. How you doing, Earl? How you doing, my friend? Good. Thank you very much for having me on the Wrestling Experience, and I hope you and everybody else are enjoying their Thursday night.
Yes, it has been a great week. The week has flown by. We're almost to the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, and that means it's time for Revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, Revolution will happen this Sunday exclusively on BRB Live, cable, satellite, and of course, movie theaters around this great land of ours. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you'll enjoy Revolution because the matches are going to be long. It's going to be a long night of wrestling, and I hope you are prepared for what AEW brings. It is their first pay-per-view offering. It is their first pay-per-view offering of 2023. So, with that being said, Jeffrey, let me ask you something. What did you make of the overall build for last night's AEW Dynamite?
I mean, some of the matches I still don't get why we're getting them at Revolution. Like the women's title stuff, I still don't know where they came up with Jamie Hayter, Saraya, and Ruby Soho just randomly throwing together a match with that. I mean, Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho, I get the feud and where it came from, but I just think that the build is sort of slowed down a little bit, and last night's segment didn't help. I mean, there's really only a couple, I mean, even the Elite and House of Black, That just feels like it's just a rush together feud that makes no sense. But MJF and Bryan Danielson has been a terrific build, and it's going to be an awesome match. Jungle Boy and Christian Cage would have ended before, but because of the fact that Christian Cage was injured, we had that little break with, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. So, I think that build's been great. There's been like a couple of matches here or there that feel like the build has been good. I don't get the Fatal 4-Way with the men's, the tag team title match. I think that's just like thrown out of left field. I think those two other teams are just there for one of them to take the pin. It's like a hit and miss, I can honestly say. It's been a hit and miss, and I think some of these matches are just thrown together. And the one last night, we're all just sitting there scratching our heads like, why is Orange Cassidy and Danhausen being thrown into this tag match? But yeah, I think it's been a hit and miss build in terms of Dynamite and all the way up to Revolution.
Well, I thought that the build for last night's show was okay. I thought the build was okay. Some of the matches, I'm going to explain to you why they are put together, and that needs a roadmap. That needs a roadmap that you need to travel on.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, the Fatal 4-Way tag team match. We all know why that came about. The Acclaim was screwed out of the titles. They were screwed. By the Guns. They were screwed. They went there and they said, well, we are going to evoke our rematch clause. So they went to Tony Khan and they said, we want a rematch for the titles. So Tony Khan cooked up this Fatal 4-Way because we all know that the Guns are going to retain the titles. It is just to take care of a feud with the Guns, and that's all that this is. It's to take care of business, and that is the truth. As far as the women concerned, and as far as anything else is concerned, yeah, I am a little confused about that. I am confused about that. Sleeping Angels, hello, how are you doing? Hit the like button.
Hey, Sleeping Angels. I just don't get the build. I don't get it.
No, I don't. Well, the thing is, the build started with Okada Ishida.
Yeah.
And which side did she go on? Then what happened was she got injured and they had to take the next level to the feud.
You're not the only one. That battle was terrible.
Yeah, well, we're gonna discuss that. But anyway, so Okada Ishida was injured. Then they inserted Ruby Soho into the mix. She's confused. She don't know which side of the road she should be on. And all of that. Well, one thing that really is confusing to me, and I still don't get this. Why did you turn Saraya into a bitchy heel? That was one thing I didn't understand. I didn't get that because I said this last night on the AEW Dynamite show. The encore is on. It's not only on my channel, but it's on Jeffrey's channel, and it's on everyone's channel. You can go back and watch it. I just thought it was confusing because here's the thing: when she started out in Grand Slam, she was a babyface, and I said, okay, so she came out babyface. That is fine. All of a sudden, about 4 weeks to a couple of months later, AEW flipped the script and made her a heel.
Yeah.
And I thought that is confusing the audience because you first said that she's a baby face. Now you're saying she's this bitchy heel who spray paints her opponent losers. I don't get that at all. Why? How come you don't let the see? This is the problem with AEW that I have with their storylines. They don't make the audience marinate on the storyline. They just jump from one hoop through another and then ram the story down your throat so that you can decipher what is going on in here. I don't like that kind of a thing because that's poor business practice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn. You have to learn that in wrestling you can't confuse the audience or take them on a journey that you do not explain because you're going to turn the audience off.
Yeah.
That is something that you do not want to happen. But Tony Khan, for some reason, has that issue. And he still has that issue 3 years later. You have to learn that you can't jump from one storyline to another.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted her to be a bitchy heel, you have to build that up first.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't pull the trigger like that. You gotta so I'll give you an example. If Jeffrey was a wrestler and he was a babyface, and I'm the promoter, I go to Jeffrey and I said, Jeffrey, we're going to start building you up as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you're going to do some heelish things in a match. You're going to put your foot on the rope. You're going to grab some tights. You're going to do some really dirty things. And then
Mm-hmm.
what you do is you take Jeffrey backstage and you give him an interview. Why are you doing this? Why are you? And then you don't explain anything. You just say, mind your business, blah, 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 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. And then you start building that up.
Mm-hmm.
Then, once the audience is invested in this and they want to know exactly why are you doing these things, then you reveal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then you reveal the self. Then you say to him, I'm sick of this audience. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of this. Now that's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do a heel.
By the way, I'm concerned, Earl. Why did they turn? Why did they give a reason why these two women turned heel? Tony Storm and
No, that's
Saraya?
what I'm trying to explain. That's what I'm
It
trying to
makes no
tell you.
sense. Yeah, it
It
makes no
just
sense.
I'm telling you, Jeffrey. That's why I'm saying that. That's why I said what I said. There's
But that's
no
the
build to
problem.
it.
Yeah, there's no reason.
There's no build to it because the thing is that she was a face.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you turned her into this bitchy heel. And I was like, what is going on here? I'm lost in the forest. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on here. Are you a face? Or are you a heel? What is
Yeah.
it?
And that's the problem with the crowd, why they're not understanding like what to say or what to do, because there was no reason given why they turned heel. There's nobody that like forced them to turn heel. It's not like the crowd was going against them, so they had to
Right.
turn heel because the crowd was booing them. I mean, there's really
Right.
no backstory on why
That
Saraya and
is
Tony Storm
why
turned heel.
this is why I said what I just said. You have to build them up to be heels. You can't just turn them into heels overnight. You can't do that. You
But
need to
why are we
build up
turning them
for.
heels though? What was wrong with them as baby faces?
I
They
am
were just
because
getting going.
I'm telling you, Tony.
No,
Tony
I know.
Khan.
Tony Khan just does. It's like he goes on a whim sometimes, and just out of nowhere, he's like, you know what? Okay, I just got a new idea in my head. I'm gonna turn so and so into a heel because I think they're gonna get over more for no reason, and they just don't explain why. Tony Storm
Yeah.
is not a heel. Saraya was just getting going as a babyface. Why are you turning them heel? What's the point? And where does Ruby Soho come into this? Like, what's
Right.
the purpose behind Ruby Soho? Is she just a replacement because Hikaru Shida is out right now due to injury? Is she just thrown in there because of that? And if Shida was healthy, we'd have a better explanation. It makes no sense why AEW and Tony Khan and whoever is booking the women's division is doing this. Like, there's no direction and creative purpose on why you turned them heel. The
That's
fans have
what.
no idea what the hell they're doing. Do you want to cheer Britt Baker right now? She's a heel. She's not a baby face. People still think she's a heel right now. It's just ass backwards with this division right now on who is a baby face and who's a heel. There's no explanation behind it.
I'm and like I said before, and I'll say it again, I'm confused.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I'm very confused. I am too.
And if I'm confused, I'm frustrated. And if I'm frustrated, it's no good.
Hey, Randy.
Uh,
Yeah.
it is no good. It's no good.
Stupid.
I don't know what's going on here. I don't know
Mm,
why they turned it into this bitchy heel. I still don't have no explanation for it. I cannot tell you. Somebody asked me on Twitter. I said, I cannot help you with that. You need to go to the source, and that's Tony Khan. I don't know what's going on. I
yeah.
can't help you. I can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot help you. All I can do is explain to you what I just said. They should have built them up to be heels first
Mm-hmm.
before you pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Because out of the blue, she was a heel, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I
Because
didn't get that turn.
if you remember, she was in a match with Willow Nightingale.
Yep.
Now they were beating the stew. They were beating the stew out of Willow Night, and I said to myself, "Now what is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
What is this?" And then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks later, she comes out as this heel with spray paint. I was
I
like,
hate that gimmick.
I
I
was
hate
just
that
like,
gimmick. I hate it. It's so dumb.
I was like, oh my God, Tony Khan, what are you doing? What are you
Is
doing?
he
You're
booking
killing
the
me.
women's division right now? Is he booking the women's division or somebody
He
else
does
booking the women's division?
he does all the booking. He does all of it.
Uh,
1000%
he's
all
got to
of it.
stop. He's got to stop and let somebody that knows how to book the division correctly. You have so much talent that you are wasting right now because you don't know how to properly book a goddamn division.
He is the head of creative, and that means he writes every single thing.
Yeah, mini Vince. That's what he is. He's mini Vince. I
Right,
hate
right,
saying it. He's turning into mini Vince.
right,
So
right, right. And
I
he
don't like
hates
it.
Vince.
Yeah, he hates Vince McMahon, yet the way he's booking the programs right now is turning into a Vince McMahon-like show. So you can
Right.
hate Vince all you want, but you are turning slowly into Vince McMahon as we go. It's ridiculous. I don't understand this. I still don't understand why the hell Ruby Soho and Saraya all of a sudden just thrown into a title match out of nowhere. It makes no sense. It's just pretty much last-minute booking to try to get some type of title out there. Rio's been gone for months, and then she just shows up on Dynamite one day and wins on a fruit roll-up against a Tony Storm last night. I get maybe why they're doing it, but I mean, it's just like it's the simple concepts that wrestling fans look for and storytelling. It's like AEW lost the concept of what made them so good at the beginning. They forgot how to long-term storyline, long-term book.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Mm-hmm.
what we're going to do is we're going to go through the matches, and we're going to explain to you if we liked it or not. The first match we're going to talk about, well, you just mentioned her. Riho took on Tony Storm. The match was okay.
Yeah.
It was
The ending was
okay.
stupid.
The ending was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I did not feel that Tony Storm should have lost to Rio. Now
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. Now, in my opinion only. But the match was okay for what it was.
Yeah.
You know, it was okay.
The roll-up was ridiculous, though, at the end. It's like Riho didn't know how to roll her up. It was a
Right.
complete
It was very
disaster.
sloppy.
Yeah.
The roll up was a botch. And it was just it wasn't a complete roll up. It was just like awkward.
Yeah,
I
I
would
think it's like
call it
she
an
got
awkward.
confused.
Yeah, it looked weird. Like she didn't like. You know what it looked like to me with that roll up? It looked like to me she wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah. Like she's supposed to roll her up in some other fashion, but she instead
Yeah,
tried to go with
right,
like that
exactly.
over the back type roll-up they get to pin him
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like they have a miscommunication.
Or grab the two legs and then sit on the chest,
Yeah.
and then make sure that the person don't get up.
Yeah. I didn't know if that was Riho that I don't know if that was Riho that messed it up or it was Tony Storm.
I don't know. Or the referee didn't convey to what they were saying on the headset.
Yeah.
That's another problem. But Jeffrey, what did you make of the match?
I thought the match was fine for what it was. I mean, a lot of people don't think Riho's that good of a wrestler. I think she's very underrated. I think she's a lot better than people give her credit. But it's been a while since she's been on television. And Toni Storm, I mean, God, what happened to her? Talk about a fall from grace. I mean, this woman was the AEW Women's Champion, 4 or 5 months ago? And now all of a sudden she's in this ridiculous, heel gimmick. And she's taking pinfall losses to somebody who hasn't been on television in a while. I know how much AEW loves Riho, but I mean, it's just I want to know and understand the concept of what we're doing here. I mean, maybe it's a way to start building more, heat on Toni Storm with Saraya potentially. I mean, I just didn't get the ending of the match. The match itself was fine. Both women are terrific wrestlers, but I mean, the ending was ridiculous. The pin just was stupid. That was one of 2 really ridiculous things that happened on the match. We'll talk about the other one later. But it was just a ridiculous ending to the match. And I want to know what's going on with this whole thing. I really just want to know what they're doing with this gimmick.
Yeah, I agree with your assessment. I want to know too. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, the match was okay.
Oh yeah, the match was fine.
The match was fine. The ending was clunky. But anyway, I digress.
It's a great question.
Daniel Berry Sports, how are you? Yes, where is Miro? That's a great question.
That's a great question. Where was Swerve? Where's Keith Lee? What the? We'll talk about that a little later. I mean,
right. Yeah. Anyway, Peter Avalon took on Chris Jericho. The match was quick.
Yeah. Why?
The match was quick. Here's the reason. If you saw the Ricky Starks promo with Chris Jericho last week.
Oh yeah,
and he had the open contract signing.
Yeah.
Peter Avalon came down to the ring to answer the challenge. He was going to answer Ricky Stark's challenge, but Chris Jericho ego couldn't allow that, and he beat the stew out of Mr. Avalon. He beat the stew out of him, and yes,
starting it off like Red Velvet.
Yeah, the stew.
Yes.
And he beat the stew out of him, and that's how the match happened, Jeff.
That's how the hell out of him. Yeah,
exactly.
It's ridiculous. I mean, what does Peter Avalon have to do with anything on the final episode where you're going to Revolution? Is this supposed to be a squash match or something to help get Jericho over some more?
Yes. It was a jobber's pay. He got a jobber's pay. And when you get a jobber's pay, you do what the promoter tells you to do.
Yeah,
go out there and go out there and get squashed. And that's exactly what he was designed to do, and that's exactly what he did. He did what his job was. And that's exactly what his job. And let me tell you something. Peter Avalon looked great. He looked fantastic. I love the new haircut. I love the goatee. He looks great. He looks like he works out. He looks great. Unfortunately, all of that did not help him any matters whatsoever. Jericho goes over in the match. I thought the match was okay. It was fine. It was quick. It was done. It was overless. It was painless.
Typical squash match.
Yeah, Jeffrey, what did you think of the match?
I really didn't care for the match, if you want me to be brutally honest. I thought it was just I get what happened, why they did the match tonight, obviously, because Jericho absolutely Judas effect the hell out of Avalon last week when he was trying to accept that the match for open challenge against Ricky Starks. But
Right.
It wasn't needed. I mean, if it was, you should have had. I would have rather just had no match at all, and I would have had Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho just have a promo or something with one another and help build up more of this feud going into Revolution this Sunday. You didn't need to have a match. You didn't need to have a squash. We already know how good Jericho is. It makes Avalon look like an idiot. I hate to say it. You might as well just had a promo between the two and just lead up to the match at Revolution. Get more fuel behind this entire build because it just feels like this feud started out really well and it's just been dying. Like it's just been going down as the week's been going on. And I was interested in this feud at first, but it's just gotten ridiculous at the end. The match was what it was, a squash match, but we could have done without it, to be honest.
I agree. I agree with the assessment. I agree. I mean, the match was not necessary.
No.
I just thought that the match was like a filler match. You know, one of those things. No, it was one of those filler matches where you need to fill in the time or whatever. You know, because you had sponsorships and all of that stuff that you had to take care of and all of that.
Absolutely.
So that's what I considered. That's what I considered that. Hook took on Matt Hardy. This. I don't know what to say about this match. What words can I describe this match?
What the hell was Tony Khan doing last night? What is with these matches that were booked on the show? Hook versus Matt Hardy? I mean, Peter Avalon versus Chris Jericho? Like, what are we doing here for a go-home show before one of your major pay-per-views on Sunday?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Something wrong with this?
No, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. I don't know how to describe this match. This match was okay. Okay, I'm not gonna say it was stellar. I'm not gonna say it was good. It was okay. It was okay. It was okay. It was okay. Was it entertaining? Yes. Was it hard hitting? Yes. Was the audience invested in it? I guess so. Was it a classic? No. I'm not gonna say that.
No.
I won't use the C word. But it was
another C word if you want, crap.
Yeah, well, that could be arranged.
Maybe I'm just being too overcritical about it. That's it.
No. It's not that, Jeffrey. It's just that you're used to some. You know, let me explain something. When we're wrestling fans, and you expect high expectations from somebody, and then they just let the air out in the balloon, it kind of like makes disappointment soup.
Yeah.
You know, it has no flavor. It has no substance to it. And that is exactly what this match left me with. See, when you do a go home show, you put the stars on there that are in the pay-per-view. And then you do promos. You do match build-ups. That's how you do a go-home show. That's exactly how you produce a go-home show. You don't put senseless matches together
what does Hook and Matt Hardy have anything to do with the build of Revolution? I'm just being
nothing. Again, like I said, another filler match. It was another.
But it's not necessary. It's the last episode before your major pay-per-view. Why are you putting a filler match? Put something like a promo or something with two guys or girls are gonna be on the show.
Jeffrey, I know that. You know that. And everybody in the world knows that except for one person, Tony Khan, who booked it. So that's the person. We're preaching to the right pew, but we're in the wrong church.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So therefore, the match was okay. What did you think of it, Jeffrey? What did you make of it?
The match was fine for what it is. I mean, Matt Hardy's. I mean, honestly, I really don't care if Matt Hardy doesn't wrestle anymore. I think he'd be a better asset behind the scenes with AEW in terms of helping young talent than he would be on television. The match itself is fine. I think Hook is terrific. I just want to know, I want to hear Hook's personality come out a little bit more than just seeing. I know how good he is in the ring. And also, God, do I feel so bad for Isaiah Cassidy. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're talking about Private Party, who was one of the most over groups. I know Mark Quinn is out right now with a quad injury, but I mean, what are we doing here? Another thing, why is Isaiah Cassidy and Matt Hardy with Ethan Page? Like, where did this come from? I don't watch Dark or Elevation, so I don't know. But where did this come from?
Did I explain to you what the situation was?
No, but why are they together? Why are they together?
Because I explained this to you last night. And I'm gonna explain it again. They are the property of Ethan Page and Stokely Hathaway. They are a property of them, which means that they must do anything that they tell them to do. Get in the ring. Get in the ring and get the stew beat out of you. Get in the ring and wrestle, wrestle, be my replacement tonight in the match.
Okay, but why? Why? What?
Because they own the contract. They own the contract.
Did they lose the match?
Yes, they did. They lost the match, and then they lost the match, and then they became the property of Stokely and Ethan.
Okay, so then that makes sense. Thank you. I didn't know if that was the case. I'm thinking, why is Matt Hardy, Isaiah Cassidy, and these people property of Stokely Hathaway and Ethan Page? But now you just let me know that they lost the match apparently, and that's the reason why they control it.
Right.
That's what I needed to know. I think it's ridiculous. The match itself is fine, but like I mentioned earlier, it's not needed on a go-home show for one of your big pay-per-views when neither one of these guys, most likely, unless they're on the pre-show, on the 0 hour, they've not needed on the go-home show on the pay-per-view on Sunday when they're not going to be part of the pay-per-view. You want to feature every single person that's going to be featured on that pay-per-view unless you have something planned big after Revolution with this whole thing going on with Matt Hardy and Hooks. And honestly, I don't think they do.
No, I don't think so either. And like I said, the match was okay.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have been booked.
No.
This match should have been put on Rampage or something else, but not in Dynamite. This was not a Dynamite. Yeah, this match was just not Dynamite worthy. Unfortunately, no.
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 That's where I have a problem with it.
Yeah. Orange Cassidy defended his title against Big Bill. The match was great. At least one thing is with Big Bill. If you don't know, he was in WWE. Big Cass, yes. He can wrestle for a tall guy.
Did you know he was 7 feet tall and you can't teach that?
Yeah. No, you can't teach that. No. No. But he can wrestle.
S-A-W-F-T, soft.
That's right. That's right. Get down, Jeffrey.
God, I miss Enzo. I miss Enzo so much.
Yes. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, he can wrestle Big Bill, and he took it to Orange Cassidy. He's not as green as somebody that we know. But anyway, I digress.
No, don't go there, please. We're not going there. Yeah, we're not going there.
No,
we have to do it every Monday.
No. I don't do it every Monday. No, I don't do it every Monday. And no, I'm not going to mention it. No, I'm not going to mention it. However, if you do want to see it again, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch it. It's the encore presentation of the Raw Watch Along, which happened on January the 16th. The video was very entertaining. And you need to watch it. You really will be entertained. If you have a down day, turn that video on. We'll turn that frown upside down. Trust me. But anyway, I digress. The match was okay.
Mhm.
The match was fine. Orange Cassidy retains. I don't know why everybody hates Orange Cassidy. I love me some Orange Cassidy. I think he's great in the ring. I love the way he turns on that comedic thing and then he turns it off when he comes in the ring and he's very serious and he's very athletic and he will do anything necessary to keep that title. And I loved it. It was great. Jeffrey, what did you make of the match?
I thought the match was fun. I mean, I'm a fan of Orange Cassidy. I have to admit, I am getting a little tired of the shtick a little bit because it is a little played out, but people love it. Tony Khan loves it. Orange Cassidy is a phenomenal in-ring performer, and Will Morrissey, I think the guy is an absolute monster. I think he looks great. He performs very well in the ring. Kudos to him for everything we know what was happening to him back in the WWE, what he was going through and what he had to do to get himself back on the right track. Obviously, he's engaged to Lexi Nair, backstage consultant in AEW or interviewer. He's really done an excellent job getting him in terrific shape. He's gotten himself in order. He looks great in the ring. My only question is Tony Khan going to do anything with this guy? Because he looks great. He performs well. What are you going to do with him? You're going to make him look impressive. First off, get rid of the stupid Big Bill name. It's ridiculous. It immediately makes him look bad. Call him Big Bill. Get rid of that name and call him something else that's going to at least make him pop a little bit more and stand out in terms of other performers on the ring. But I thought the match itself was very good. Obviously, Orange Cassidy was winning. I get it. So, I don't know. I thought the match overall was fine, but I want to see more from Big Bill or Will Morrissey. That's what I'd like to see more from going forward.
Yeah, I agree with the assessment.
Mm.
Gregor John, hello, how are you?
Who's Jerry?
Huh?
You said, hey, Jerry. Who's Jerry?
I have no idea who Jerry is, but okay.
Must be somebody new. Oh, Jeffrey. Okay, thank you. How you doing?
No, okay.
But do you agree with me that they need to really do something with Morrissey?
Yes, I mean, there are a lot of people in AEW that needs a lot of push.
They don't know how to book big guys. I've noticed one trend, Earl, and this is one thing that has really started to make me wonder. How come no big guy in this company can ever get over? Luchasaurus, Brian Cage, Lance Archer, Will Morrissey seemed the only one that was going to be getting over.
Wardlow.
Was Wardlow. That's another one. Thank you. Whereas his booking has been awful. The only one that was getting over was Brody. And unfortunately, he passed away.
Right, exactly.
But he was the only one that was getting over. Everybody else, every other big man, it's like AEW has no idea how to book a menacing big man in that company.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's terrible.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the match was okay.
Yeah.
The match was fine. The match was it was okay for what it was. Was it entertaining? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Were you invested in it? I was. The crowd seemed to like what they were watching last night in San Francisco. So it was okay. Now let's talk about this Vim, Fire, and Vigor, as I like to call it. MJF and Bryan Danielson promo. This was absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I am invested in this feud. Now this feud, lady,
hey,
Philly
Rob.
Sports. Oh, what's up, Rob? How you doing? This feud was gold. GOLD, 24 karat gold.
Mm-hmm.
I love the feud. I love the build. Now this is what I give a star to Tony Khan. This is how you do long-term booking. This was great. This was absolutely good. The only thing I just wish they didn't bleep out what Daniel Bryan said. That was the only thing I was a little sour on. But anyway,
I didn't
Yeah,
mind it as
I mean,
much.
I thought it would add a little picante spice to it. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of that
Same here, man.
jalapeno sauce on top of the
You
roast
think
pork.
Warner Brothers would ever have them drop the F bomb on national
No,
television? No.
I
Yeah.
know, I know,
It would be
I know.
great though, but I didn't mind it as much because
I
we
mean,
knew
if
what
I
he
had,
said.
if you're like, no, I know what he said.
Yeah.
But I if I had a filter on my button on the TV,
Mm.
I would have just take that filter off and
Yeah.
let it fly.
Yeah.
Because it adds more fire to the feud. But anyway, I digress. But the promo was great. Hit
I
that
love
like
it.
button.
I loved it. I
Hit
loved
that
it.
like button, everyone. Thank you. Um, yeah, I loved it. I
Mm.
loved it. Loved it. That was
Mm.
amazing. Say yes, it was, Robert. Yes, it
And MJF
was.
didn't even have to say a damn word.
No, he
And
didn't
that's
have
what
to
made it
say
best.
anything.
That is what made it the best is because it was Danielson that cut
Right.
that promo. And MJF just sat there and like a typical heel, and Danielson just ripped him apart, which obviously we all know going into this match, we all know MJF's not losing. He's not losing that
Right.
belt. So I mean, you needed to have some type of promo to really send that feud home on a high note. And just MJF not even saying anything because he was the one that was pretty much selling. He pretty much cut his promos all the weeks before, including that amazing promo we cut right before a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
This is
Right.
exactly what needed to be happening. Danielson cut that great promo. MJF looks like he's shaking now. We're also wondering if MJF can go an hour in this Iron Man match. I thought that's exactly what we needed. I think this feud has been great. I love the build, and I honestly cannot wait for the Iron Man match that's going to happen on Sunday between these two. I think it's going to be out of this world great.
Yeah. Again, Jeffrey. Everything that you just said, I loved it even more.
Mm-hmm.
The feud needed to keep. Yes, I agree, Robert. I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
He was petrified. Yes, MJF was petrified, and I agree with it. And I agree with what you said, Jeffrey, brilliantly. You did that great. How you described the feud. After MJF was roasting and kept roasting and kept roasting
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, he
Mm-hmm.
came back and he did what we call in wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, turn the tables booking.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what you call turn the tables booking.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what that means is, ladies and gentlemen, is that for weeks and for weeks you've been roasting me. Now I'm going to roast you back in a horrific way where I can
Mm-hmm.
get my point across to you. And that's exactly what Brian Danielson did. That is exactly how you do it.
It's brilliant.
It was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It was brilliant. Especially the last part where they had to clap it out. But I mean, that's
And
what you got
MJF
to do
sold
to
it
get.
brilliantly too.
Yeah,
MJF sold
yeah.
it so well to like
Did
give you
you
that
did you
belief that
see?
he's actually worried.
Right. And the thing is that he had that shocked look on his face because he didn't think that Brian Depp was going to come out with that.
Yeah. I mean, some of the things
That
he
was the
said, he
best.
went into him on that one. They
Yeah,
even
he
brought that
went
real
and
life element.
he went into him hard.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I loved it. I thought it was
And
absolutely the perfect thing that would needed to need to happen.
it's almost like a bully getting his just dessert. Mm, mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm,
That's
mm.
true. Yeah, he talked about his fiance. That's what even
Yeah,
spiced it up even more about
yeah,
MJF's
yes.
ex-fiance, bringing that
Mm-hmm.
realism in. But Earl, that's the problem I have with this where they're building this and everything else. Why didn't you do this with Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho? Why didn't you do something like this with Saraya and Ruby Soho and Jamie Hayter? Why aren't you doing these types of things? Because you don't need wrestling matches every second. Unless you're going to have wrestling matches of feuds that are going to be happening right after Revolution, so you want to get them featured and started up. Why are you having these nonsensical filler matches that are going to mean nothing going into the future instead of having some type of quick segment that's going to get some of these more feuds to the next level? That's what I had the problem with.
Well, again, like I said before, and I'll say it again, it's almost like in WWE. Everything in the WWE now is bloodline, 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 bloodline. Everything else is secondary. Anything
Oh, yeah,
else
that's
is
true.
in the file cabinet. Everything else is on the lower end of the basement. This is the same thing in AEW. They do not care about anything. They want this bunny match with Bryan and MJF. Anything else comes secondary. Anything else goes in the basement. And that is the truth.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
That is
absolutely
the
the truth.
God, that is the honest God truth.
Mhm.
And if
I
you can't
just,
understand, if you can't understand that, I'm sorry to cut you off, Jeffrey.
hmm.
If you can't understand that, then I don't know what I know. I guess you're not a wrestling. I guess you're not a fan because you obviously don't comprehend what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, no, people understand what you're talking about, but at the same time, you could have a great feud that you're booking to like the way you're doing it, but at the same time, you have to have other feuds underneath it that have some type of significance behind them. At least in WWE, you do have some long-term booking with some of these other feuds, like Judgment Day with Edge and Finn Balor. You have that backstory with the two of them over this long period of time. Obviously, circling back to why Finn Balor and Edge are going to probably be fighting in Hell in the Cell at WrestleMania because it all started with Finn Balor being introduced to Judgment Day and kicking Edge out. That's where it all circled back to.
Yeah,
Obviously,
but
the
yeah, but
bloodline.
the right, but the problem is, Jeffrey, the bloodline story for you, the bloodline storyline is starting to outshadow everything else.
Well, yeah, because
and
of Sami
and
Zayn.
right, and everything else is starting to become an afterthought. And when something comes an afterthought, Jeffrey, you're going to start missing critical piece of element in some of the back storylines that you're supposed to bring to the forefront.
That's true.
So that that's the problem. There lies the problem. But again, like I said before, going back to MJF and Brown, that that promo was fantastic. That
Oh, yeah.
has to be one of the best things I have ever seen those two ever do. That was the best.
They've been great this whole entire build up. There's really
Yeah,
not a lot that has not been good between MJF and
no, and there's nothing I
Bryan
can
Danielson.
say. There's nothing I can say at this point that I did not like.
No.
There was nothing on that promo I didn't. There was nothing,
Yeah.
absolutely nothing on that promo that I did not like. I loved every moment, every second, every nuance, every language, everything. I
Hmm.
mean, he gave him the bread, the meat, the mayonnaise, the onions, and everything else in
Always with the
between.
food. Always with the food.
and
Always
he
going
gave
back to the food.
and he gave him the sandwich, and he made him eat it. No,
Was
and
on
I got
Italian bread, whole wheat bread, rye bread, pumpernickel bread,
I would say it was a buttered roll,
a buttered roll.
and
Okay.
yes, and it was served piping hot. Yes, yes. Um, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, um, so let's talk about this for a second. The face of the Revolution ladder match. It was Takeshita, Ortiz, Commander, Eddie Kingston, AR Fox, Action Andretti, Sammy Guevara, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Just to let everybody know, um, there was a segment that never aired on Dynamite last night. And apparently, Eddie Kingston said he is done with AEW.
Yeah.
It looks like Mr.
Done.
Kingston, yeah, he's done with
Yeah.
AEW. He said he's done. He's sick of the booking. He's sick of everything, and he is done. I don't know what this means.
I do.
I don't.
I think you know what he's doing.
I don't know where this is going. But it is curious to know what's going to happen behind this, and will there be punishment for Mr. Kingston?
No.
Um,
No. This is
because
kayfabe.
anybody, yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah. Like storyline wise, yeah.
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 He will be punished.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be punished
Punished.
by
Right,
Tony Khan.
right. He'll be either fined or suspended or
Mm.
jobbed. One out of the two, he will be punished.
It's not like he
Anyway,
hasn't been
ladies and
jobbing anyway.
right, exactly. Anyway, I digress. The match was fine. The match was fine. You know who shined in this match, ladies and gentlemen? Commander.
Yeah, he was
He
great.
was Mr. Commander was absolutely fabulous.
Mm.
I love some of his moves. AR Fox was great in the match. He sold the moves very well.
He's
He
underrated as
sells,
hell.
yeah, yes, he is. He sold every nuance
Mm.
of the match, and I thought that was fine. Powerhouse Hobbs wins the match. I had no issues with the winner
Great choice.
whatsoever. Great choice, right outcome, right person to win the match. Jeffrey, what did you make of the match?
This match was insane. I've never the spot. It was really. They just said you guys go out there and just throw your bodies in the wind, just like do all these insane, crazy spots, and beat the hell out of each other. That's pretty much what it was. I mean, from Death Valley drivers, from Hobbs on to AR Fox to that insane shooting star press off the top by Commander on AR Fox on the ladder to that absolutely just death-defying swanton bomb by Sammy Guevara on Action Andretti, and then Action Andretti doing a superplex or doing a Falcon Arrow off the top of the ladder through another ladder where he completely missed him and he almost destroyed his leg to a super blue thunder bomb by Takeshita on Commander. I mean, Jesus. This was like an entire spot fest of we're just going to just throw out there and do these amazing high spots. We're going to make the crowd eat this up. The spots were like well timed. I thought everybody looked impressive. Will Hobbs pretty much freight training the damn ladder and breaking it in half, and Takeshita going flying off the top of the ladder. I mean, this was awesome. This is one of my highlights of this entire show last night. Was that incredible match between all these participants. I thought they all looked great. I thought the match was very fun. I thought Will Hobbs or Takeshita were the right guys that need to win this match, and Will Hobbs got it done. So I just want to know, where are we going to go with Will Hobbs, and is he going to win the title, or is he going to just lose, and then what are we going to do with Hobbs next? But I thought the match itself was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, again, like I said before, and I'll say it again. I had no issues with this match. I had no issues, and I had no issues with the winner either.
It was a car crash.
Uh, it was a demolition derby.
Yeah.
Um, that's exactly what it was. And let me just say to my audience, ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey did an amazing job last night calling the match. It was great. I enjoyed it. I was entertained by my co-host on the wall watch along. I was entertained by it. It was fantastic.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No. It was no. You did a good job last night. I don't know what to say anymore. This match was great.
Yeah.
Grade A, good stuff. A across the board for me. And good luck to Powerhouse Hobbs on his journey to the TNT title.
Will he win it? That's the biggest question. Is he actually going to win the TNT title?
That's a great question. We'll have to wait and see about that.
After
Okay,
Sunday.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're up to the last match. The Casino Tag Team Battle Royal, Aussie Open, Jericho Appreciation Society, Best Friends, the Kingdom, Dark Order, La Faction, the Butcher and the Blade, the Lucha Brothers, Top Flight, and Blackpool Combat Club. Now, let me explain something to my audience here. I didn't like this, and I'm going to tell you why. The wrong winners were chosen in this match. The wrong people. Now, Top Flight has been one of those tag teams that have been on a roll. And all of a sudden now, you have taken their gas out of the gas tank. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? They win the battle royal, they won the money battle royal, and then they beat the elite. And instead of you building on that and giving them some kind of momentum and give them some kind of incentive to keep going, that's not what you're doing. You made them lose to the elite in a rematch. You go there and made them lose this match. I mean, I was not a fan. I'm not a fan of that.
No.
I'm not a fan of that at all. The wrong people run this match, and I just left a sour taste in my mouth because there was so many other good tag teams in this match that could have done. Even if it wasn't Top Flight, I mean, you could have given it to the Lucha Bros. You could have given it to somebody else. But Danhausen and no,
Aussie
I'm sorry.
Open, Butcher and Blade,
Yeah, Aussie Open, Butcher. Watch some of that with somebody behind
Roosh
that
and
curtain.
Preston.
Right, somebody behind that curtain
Yeah.
could have won this match. Anybody could have, but you didn't have to pick these. I mean, it was just like.
You know what it was to me, Earl? I think it's just a way, and a lot of people have said this that I've heard in the community. It's just a way to get Orange Cassidy on the card. That's all. That's all it feels like it is. That they just want to get Orange Cassidy on the wrestling card. Why is he not defending the All Atlantic Championship on
Ding,
on the
ding,
show?
ding, ding.
Why is he not defending that belt? Why? Like, why? Put him against Takeshita. Put him against somebody else in that division. Let him actually have a match for his title. You don't need to throw him in there in this nonsensical match. And the only reason why I believe that Orange Cassidy and Danhausen plus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal are even in this fatal four-way tag match is because it's a way to get a pin on one of them and not on the Acclaimed. And I think the Guns are going to end up retaining those titles. And that's the only reason why they're going with a fatal four-way, because it's a way to not get the Acclaimed pin, and it's a way to keep them strong and build their feud up more as we get closer to Double or Nothing in the spring and late spring, early summer. That's the only reason why I see them doing this. Danhausen is a comedy act. I don't care about the spooky curse, whatever it is. I think it's stupid. And at this point, he's the one that, he's the one that should take the pin in this match. I don't get this. The Battle Royal was garbage. I thought the ending, and this is one of the other problems I have with this match, the ending was ridiculous. You're really having, it looks like Butcher and Blade eliminated themselves more than Danhausen eliminated him. This is another one of these idiotic booking decisions that Tony Khan did. And it's another way for him to say, I want to get my guy Orange Cassidy on the show at a Revolution. Okay, you want to get him on the show, have him defend the All-Atlantic Championship in a banger of a match against somebody that should be on the show, like a Sammy Guevara, like
Adam Cole.
Kenny Garcia, or Adam Cole, exactly. Takeshita. Put him against one of these guys, a Roosh, Preston Vance, Miro, Swerve, Keith Lee. Can I keep going? All these people on this roster, and you're putting Orange Cassidy in a tag title that makes no sense. Have him defend the All-Atlantic Championship against one of these good competitors in your division. It's stupid.
And another thing, too, is...
Tony Khan's killing his company. He's really trying hard to kill his company with his booking decisions sometimes.
I didn't care for the I didn't care for the finish.
No, it was dumb.
Did you see it?
Butcher eliminated himself. He essentially eliminated himself over the top rope when Danhausen was behind him. He's like, oh, okay, I'm going to jump over the top rope now, even though he's not eliminating me. It looks so ridiculous. I couldn't tell it was more ridiculous. The way that match ended in the Battle Royal or the way the Riho and Tony Storm match ended. They were both just dumb. It killed the vibe of the matchups. The Battle Royal was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with the assessment.
There's really nothing to say about it. It was just ridiculous how they did.
No, I mean, it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. I didn't care for the match, ladies and gentlemen. This was just bottom basement. Just bottom basement. That's all I can say about it.
You put it at
I
the
mean,
end
it
of the
was
card. Why are you putting it at the end of the show? Like, you just killed
yeah.
the vibe of the entire show with that ridiculousness that you did.
Yeah, right, exactly. Even the audience was befuddled. I
No.
don't know if you, I mean, I don't know if you caught this or not, but there was a woman in the audience, and I think she was sitting, I think 3 rows up on, I think she was sitting 3 rows up from ringside,
Mm.
and they panned up to her quickly. They did pan up to her, and I saw the shock look on her face. And she looked at her friend and she's looking and she said, "What the hell was that?" That is exactly how I felt
It's
if I was
ridiculous.
sitting there watching that live.
All you
Because
gotta
I
do is
would have
look.
won.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Jeffrey. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
It's just the tag teams you had in this match. You had good tag teams like Aussie Open, Top Flight, Butcher and Blade, Roosh and Preston Vance, Dark Order, even the Kingdom, who I really don't know a lot, but I think they're better. And you gave it essentially to a guy that is already a champion with another belt, and another guy who, let's just be real, he has no business being in AEW, especially on Dynamite, and being on the card for Revolution. He's a comedy guy. It's a joke. You just pretty much buried your entire tag team division. And if I'm Butcher and Blade, I would be waiting and I would be looking at my watch like, when are my contracts coming to an end to get me the hell out of here if this is how they're going to book me? Losing to a comedy guy and a guy that honestly should be featured more on AEW Dark or Elevation. Sorry, I'm
Um,
not a Danhausen fan. I'm not.
no, I'm not. There's nothing. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The way they book Danhausen is awful.
It's clown-like.
It's clownish. It's. I mean, I think he can wrestle in the ring. It's just that they don't want to display that. They want to see him do these comedic things where he's cursing people and all. I mean, this is ridiculous. Come on now.
It's like
This
WWE's
is
version of The Miz
yeah,
or Dexter Loomis.
yeah.
That's what it feels
I'm
like.
not a fan. I'm not a fan of this. I'm
No,
sorry. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a
no,
fan of it.
no. It's
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, don't hate me on Twitter. No,
no.
please don't.
Who cares if they hate you on Twitter? You're right. This is no business being on this show, and has absolutely no business being on AEW Revolution over a lot of these other talented people that should absolutely be on the card over Danhausen.
I mean,
Even these Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal get heat.
yeah, and they had no, and that's another team that did not need to be on that. But anyway, I digress. But ladies and gentlemen, that was AEW
Oh, wait, you
Dynamite.
forgot about one very important thing that also happened on the show, and that was Christian Cage's promo with Jungle Boy.
Oh yes.
We have to
talk.
highlight that because that was terrific by Christian
Yeah,
Cage. That was
okay,
great.
that, ladies and gentlemen, before we end Dynamite, yes, let's talk about this promo for a second. Thank you, Jeffrey, for that correction. Um, let's just talk about this for a second. Christian Cage was in the ring last night, and he was in the ring with Tony Schiavone, and this promo was great.
Oh, it was so good.
It was fantastic. I had no issues with what he was saying. What I did like though was when the lights went out and Jungle Boy was doing something. He was channeling his inner Undertaker. What he was doing was he was digging a grave for Christian. Now I'm not sure what this means. Not sure what this means, but I have a feeling on Rampage tomorrow night we're going to get another match added to Revolution, and it'll have a stipulation to it. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure what kind of stipulation this match is going to be, but this feud has to come to an end, and it will come to an end. And I think it will come to an end at Revolution.
Yeah, it has to.
It has to come to an end.
Well, Christian did say where it's gonna. He said he's challenged him to a fight in that promo, so it's going to be a fight with some type of stipulation. I've heard crazy things like a buried alive match in AEW. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be like a no DQ, street fight, that type of element. Because you have to have with this feud to blow it off after Revolution. You have to have a stiff fight to end this feud.
Would you do a non-sanctioned lights out match?
No, because you already have a Texas death match already with Moxley and Hangman. They're so similar to one another. You have to have like something a little bit different than that because Texas death match, lights out, it's pretty much the same thing. So street fight, like a different element to it, I wouldn't mind at all. I mean, if you want to do a lights out match, that's fine. But I mean, it just feels so similar to a Texas death match that, maybe I have a little difference with it.
Would you do a 3 stages of hell?
No, because that's WWE's trademark. They never do that. And they already did a steel cage already with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, so you can't do that.
Okay. Yeah. You can't. Okay. So we're gonna watch that. You can't do a Texas death match. You can't do a last match.
You could, but it's just too similar. I mean, you just got
right. And you can't do a last man standing match because you already have a Texas death match. So that doesn't work either. That won't work either.
You could do a last man standing because it's different from a Texas death match. I mean, they're different concepts of a match. It's not just all brutality. Yeah. You just have to make sure the guy doesn't come out after 10.
Right. And okay. You are correct. This apprentice now.
If you disagree with me, that's fine. You can disagree with me.
No. I agree with the assessment. And ladies and gentlemen, this apprentice is about to go off the stage. Anyway, I digress. But anyway.
Texas stage match.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the promo was great. I'm looking forward to the match. I cannot wait to see if this match becomes official tomorrow night live on Rampage from the Cow Palace in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey, what did you make of the promo?
I mean, just short and sweet. I thought the promo was great. I did. I thought the promo was great overall, and I really just enjoyed. I love Christian Cage as a heel. He's doing such great work on that show. He's really showing what kind of dominant, amazing, sadistic heel you need to be in order to get over with these younger fans. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it came off brilliant. I thought it really touched the nerve with Jungle Boy with some of the things he said. And they're like talking about the different generation, the generational thing between heel, like people nowadays compared to what he said, where he said, I'm going to milk that cow dry with all the money I'm going to make. I love that line. That was beautifully said by Christian Cage. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Let me ask you something. Who is better at a heel? Is it Christian or MJF?
Oh, MJF's still the best heel. MJF is just the best heel in the business right now. Unless Roman Reigns and MJF the best heels in the business for different reasons. So yeah, it's MJF.
Oh, okay. I agree with the assessment.
I think you're about to ask me who's going to be better, Edge or Christian, because both of them have been hitting it out of the park.
Right. No, I wanted to know which heel do you think is who's the better heel in AEW? Who's the better heel? And you are right, hands down, that's MJF.
Yeah, MJF's the best thing in wrestling. MJF's the best thing in wrestling. I can't praise this dude anymore. How good he is.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dynamite. We had fun with Dynamite. We did. Jeffrey, let me ask you something. What overall grade would you give Dynamite?
I'd probably give it around a C+, B-, because a lot of this show was very filler. A lot of it was just made no sense and convoluted, but I would probably have to say the Christian Cage promo, the ladder match, the MJF and Danielson interaction at the end, and even in a way the Orange Cassidy and the Morrissey match was probably the highlights of the show. The women's stuff I didn't like. I didn't care for Peter Avalon and Chris Jericho. I thought that was ridiculous. The Battle Royal was stupid. So, I mean, it was really a 50-50 type show and not one of Tony Khan's best booked shows for a go-home for a pay-per-view, but it was like a middle-of-the-road show, to be honest. Middle of the road.
It was mid.
Yeah, that's actually a very good word saying, Earl. It was a mid-show. For a
It was.
go-home show, it was disappointing.
Yeah, it was. It was mid. I'm going to give it a C minus, and I'm gonna be nice.
Mm,
Um, Unfortunately, the go home show wasn't as strong as I would like it to be.
no.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's the way Tony Khan booked it. That's what he wanted, and that's what you got.
Mm,
Um, so, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with AEW. Now we're going to move on to this Sunday. This Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, AEW is making their debut inside the Chase Center in downtown San Francisco, California.
mm,
And we're going to present to you Revolution.
mm-hmm.
Now, the Hardcore Sports Network, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to follow the Hardcore, follow them on Twitch at
Mm-hmm.
Hardcore Sports 1. Follow them on Twitter at Hardcore Sports N. Follow them on Instagram at Hardcore Sports. And of course, you can subscribe to their YouTube channel and hit the like button. Hit the like button on Jeffrey's channel. Hit the like button on my channel. Hit the like button on the Hardcore Sports Network and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Revolution has so far 8 matches to it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting, I believe we're going to be getting 4 more matches. So that means the card will be loaded. And loaded indeed will it be this Sunday. We're going to have a long evening of wrestling. Yes, Tony Khan just loves those 15 to 16 matches. He just loves it on a
So dull.
pay-per-view. Yes, it is, but that's Tony Khan. He has to give you loaded potatoes with the cheese, with the bacon, with the sour cream, and everything else in between.
Wait, is this a Wendy's commercial? Is it about the loaded baked potato at Wendy's? I think Earl wants to go to Wendy's after this broadcast is over and go get himself a loaded baked potato with some butter, like some sour cream on it, and a couple of scallions dropping on the top with some bacon bits. I think I broke the host. Remember that chat? Remember Heath Slater was what's called Wendy from John Cena?
Yeah.
I just broke the host. Here's the problem. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to make this short.
Yes.
Tony Khan, take a lesson for what Triple H just did at Elimination Chamber. How many matches do we have on that card, Earl? 5? 5 matches. And how good was that card? You gave everybody enough time to tell their story, get their moves in, and have great matches besides Brock and Bobby. But we know the deal with that. That was beautifully put together. It's quality over quantity. You don't need 8,000 matches that make no sense. I'm tired of Tony Khan doing this stuff. It's stupid. You're tiring out your wrestling group by putting on 1 million matches. It's just going to wear the audience out. Nobody wants to sit through a 5-6 hour wrestling show. You're going to be exhausted by the time you get to the main event, which, let's just be honest, a lot of people are going to be ordering this pay-per-view for the main event. So, Mr. Time is here now.
It's Mr. Time.
Yeah. It's a gripe of mine. I'm so sick when Tony Khan does this stuff. I really am.
Yes, I'm tired of this too. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey and I are going to predict these 8 matches, but just stay tuned to Rampage tomorrow night, and I think more matches will be added.
Better make sense. Better make sense.
Well, we're gonna have to wait and see about that.
Yeah, well, we know the deal. We've done this before. We're not counting on some of these matches making sense. It's just Tony Khan saying, "I want you on the card."
Right. Let's talk about this first match for a second. The AEW Women's Championship. It is Jamie Hayter versus Saraya versus Ruby Soho. Now, again, like I said before, and I'll say it again. We discussed this before. I told you we were confused about the whole thing, the bitchy heel and everything else like that, and how they turned her heel, and we already expounded upon it, and everything else in between. I'm going to save my predictions until I get to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, who is going to win this match?
Jamie Hayter. There's no reason to take the belt off Jamie Hayter right now. I mean, Saraya, I don't know if she's ready to become a champion yet. I think she still needs to get her legs under her a little bit more. Maybe build up this heel character a little bit more before you think about giving the title change to her potentially. And Ruby Soho, I like Ruby Soho, but I just don't get what they're doing with her. And honestly, there's no reason to take the belt off Jamie Hayter. You got to get her. You got to build Jamie Hayter back up because it seems like she's lost a little bit of her thunder in this whole ridiculous feud that's been going on. So, I mean, honestly, you know what would be very intriguing to me? When are we going to get the turn of Britt Baker going back to being a heel? Because how long is Britt Baker going to stay in the background and not want to go after that title again and be the lackey for Jamie Hayter? That's going to be the intriguing storyline. And I've heard this before too. When is Britt Baker going to turn on Jamie Hayter? And eventually it's going to be Hayter and Baker going for that title. But yeah, Jamie Hayter's going to keep the belt. There's no reason for her to drop it.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the assessment. I'm going to agree. Kenny Hudson, how are you? I'm going to agree with your assessment here, Jeffrey. And I'm going to go with the same wavelength as you. Jamie Hayter will retain. It's too early in the program to strip her of the title now. It's way too early.
I don't think so.
No, I don't. I disagree with that assessment.
I can't, Mr. Time. I'm sorry. I'm not saying your whole name, Mr. Time. You're just going to be called Mr. Time. So,
thank you, Mr. Time. Hit the like button, by the way, Mr. Time. Thank you. So Hayter will retain.
Yeah.
Hayter will retain. So let's talk about this for a second. Now, go ahead, Jeffrey.
I was going to say, do you see Britt Baker eventually turning on Jamie Hayter soon?
I would say so. I mean, everybody was calling for that. I thought that was going to happen long time ago, but why are they sitting on it? I have no idea.
Because this whole ex-WWE versus AEW or ex-WWE versus AEW original storyline they seem to be going for. That's why they did it. That's the storyline, if you want to say.
Because I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on here with these women. That's what I'm kind of concerned with. That's what I'm trying to say to you all. I just thought that when Saraya first came out, she was a baby face. Then all of a sudden you turn the lights out, you turn the lights back on, and now she's this bitchy heel.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Nope. Beats me.
I'm confused.
And Kenny, if she wins, that's fine. I just don't think it makes sense right now for Hayter to drop the belt. I don't.
Yeah, Kenny. Unfortunately, it's too early in the program for her to be a champion at this point. Yeah. I don't see her losing the title. I just can't see it. Okay. Now, if this match is official, then, but we're gonna discuss it. Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy.
Oh, I can't wait for this match.
This match is going to be gold. GOLD gold. I'm an investor in it. I'm an investor in it. I think Christian. I think at this point, if you want to end the feud, Jungle Boy needs to go over in this match.
Yeah, it makes too much sense. Christian don't need the win.
No, he doesn't need the win. He doesn't need it. And if you want to end the feud the way it's supposed to be, Jungle Boy needs to win.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, what do you think?
what does it benefit Christian in winning this feud? It's
Right.
all been about Jungle Boy's pretty much been it's the betrayal angle they've been doing with this
Right.
whole thing with Christian Cage and Jungle Boy.
Right.
Obviously, Christian got hurt when he tore his I think it was his pec, I believe, or his bicep, so he had to miss
Right.
some time. Luchasaurus was that muscle for Christian Cage, and we saw what happened with them at Full Gear when they had that steel cage matchup, and Jungle Boy was able to tackle his former best friend. And now it's about him getting revenge on Christian after all the things he said, after all the things he's done, and it's time for him to it's time for the babyface to get revenge on the heel. It makes no sense for a 50-plus-year-old Christian, or almost 50-year-old Christian, to beat one of the pillars of AEW in this feud. You're building up Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy has to beat Christian. It's not even a debate. It's not even a question. There's no reason for Christian to win this match. Jungle Boy is going to come out the victor in this one, and Christian is going to help make him look like gold in the process.
Yep. I agree with the assessment. I agree.
How do you think what match do you think it's ultimately going to be, though?
Huh?
If you had your honest opinion, what match do you think we're going to get between these two at Revolution on Sunday? If your guesstimation.
I'm gonna say that this if this comes to fruition, and I know it will, in my heart and my hearts, in my gut, we're gonna get a street fight.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna get a street fight. We're gonna get a street fight, a San Francisco street fight. That's exactly.
I like the way you said that, a San Francisco street fight. That could actually be what they're going to call it. That's a good.
Yeah, I mean, I would not bat an eye with it.
No, I would love that. It makes too much sense.
I
to
mean,
have something like that.
Right, a San Francisco street. I wouldn't bat an eye with it.
I
wouldn't.
think it would be brilliant.
Yeah, that's how you end the feud.
Yeah, and you just have
let them two go out there. Yeah, let them go out there and do it. Tear the house down.
And they will. They will.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be one of the most underrated matches at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. And I would agree with it. I would have no issues with it whatsoever. None. Chris Jericho takes on Ricky Starks. I love this match. These two have been going back and forth with each other. But you know something? A lot of wrestling fans did not they didn't understand the promo Ricky Starks did a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite when he baited Chris Jericho into the match.
Can't blame
people didn't understand it. But you have to understand the concept of why he did it. You understand? I understood it right away. When I saw that promo and I saw what he was doing and I saw the manipulation and the reverse psychology on Chris Jericho, I got it right away. I did.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're not wrong.
Oh, we did. Me and DJ Storm, we discussed this, and he agreed with me, and I agreed with him, and we did it. I'm so.
No, there's a big difference between MJF.
No. You can't, Kenny. You can't compare. You can't compare the Miz. You cannot compare the Miz to MJF. Don't do that.
You're allowed your opinion. Yeah, you're allowed to have your opinion.
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna stomp on your opinion.
That's a stretch.
That is a big stretch. That is like reaching from New Jersey all the way over to Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
That is a huge stretch. But anyway, I digress. This match is going to be as good as it's going to be. I think in my heart of hearts, in my gut, I think Jericho is going to win this match. I don't know. I just
Bad booking. You heard about the trademark that was filed by Jericho for Jericho.
no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he filed for a trademark called Jericho.
I have no idea
You
what
remember
that is.
Jericho? You remember Jericho on WWE? Chris Jericho and Big Show? 'Cause
Oh,
remember he banned the JAS is banned. Doesn't mean everybody's
oh
banned in the match.
yes.
That'd be
Okay.
ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous if something like that happens.
Well,
Starks has got to win. Starks should win. There's no
okay.
reason why Jericho should win this match.
Okay, so me and Jeffrey are a little opposite of what I said. So, but then when he explains me what just happened a while ago, I don't know if I should turn my vote around here,
No, you
ladies and
stick with
gentlemen.
your vote. You stick with your vote. If you think that Jericho's gonna win, you stick with it. Don't change your mind because I said something different. You stick with your vote.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are opposite then.
That's perfect. That's
No,
what makes it fun.
yeah, we're a little opposite, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give the Duke to Jericho, and Jeffrey gives the Duke to Ricky Stark. So yeah, we're split on that. But the
Yeah.
match will be
Let me
yeah
talk to you.
yeah.
Let me talk to you.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the match will be entertaining. That's for sure.
It should be a good
Um,
match. Yeah.
yes.
By the way, you checked
All
the
right.
private chat, right, Earl?
No, I didn't. Let me go
You don't
check.
have to read
Hold
it. You don't
on.
have to read it out loud. Just so you know.
Okay, and let me look at me. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I got it.
we'll keep going. Don't worry about it. Just want to let you know.
Okay. This won't last long. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I was gonna have another part of the show, but we are going to
We
skip
can
that
still
part.
squeeze it in. No, we can still squeeze it in. We can still squeeze
Oh,
it in. We
okay.
got time.
Okay. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what was I saying?
We were talking about Ricky
Oh,
Starks and Chris Jericho. I think
good,
we're
good,
ready to
yeah.
move on to
The
the next
match is going to
match.
be entertaining. The
Yeah.
match will be entertaining.
Mm.
The match will be fine. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I digress. All right, let's talk about this next one. The Texas Death Match.
This is going to
John
be great.
Moxley versus Hangman Page. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen a Texas Death Match, it is equivalent to a last man standing match. And basically, you beat the stew out of your opponent until they cannot stand up anymore. They can't do it anymore. They can't stand up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this match is going to be yep. And this match is going to be bloody. It's going to be hard hitting. It's going to be uh, a banger, and it's going to tear the house down.
Yeah.
Moxley is a whirling dervish. You do not know what you're going to get with Moxley. You really don't. There is no tape or no preparation can you do for a John Moxley match because there is you don't know what you're going to get. You do not know which way in the wind this man blows. You just don't.
No.
Hangman Adam Page has been upset about the loss to him, and I think at this point in time, I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to say that Hangman wins this match.
Mm-hmm.
I think the receipt is going to happen here. The one-upsmanship will be over. Hangman will get the last Duke, and he will get his just dessert in the sun. I just think that that's what's going to happen here. But Jeffrey, I have a feeling you're not on the same page as I am.
No, actually, I am. I think Hangman is going to win this match. I think it makes sense for Hangman to win this match. Moxley don't need the win. Hangman needs to win more in this matchup. It's going to be physical. I'll make it brief on this one. It's going to be physical. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be chaos all over the place. Earl's favorite word, chaos. There's going to be barbed wire. There's going to be steel chairs, tables, anything that is a weapon that will be used in this match that can be used legally, which everything is legally. But yeah, my opinion, Hangman will win this match. So I agree with you on this one.
Yep. We're in agreement, ladies and gentlemen.
I agree with the assessment.
Yes, he agrees with the assessment. Yes, we both agree to the assessment. Yes. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about this next match, Jeffrey. The AEW Trios title is on the line. It is the Elite taking on the House of Black. Mm-hmm. The match is going to be a banger, Jeffrey. The match probably is going to be the match of the night. The match is going to be something sort of sensational. Okay, here's the thing. I'm a little conflicted here with my prediction.
I can see why.
I'm a little conflicted. Because this is a match where you say the word pick'em.
Yeah.
This is a pick'em. Mm-hmm. Flip the coin and see where it lands. Do you want the Elite to retain? Or do you want to see the House of Black finally go to the pay window and become the strongest faction in AEW as the Trios champions? I don't know. Jeffrey, I'm going to save my predictions because I'm a little conflicted. Jeffrey, what do you think?
I don't like... The match is going to be great. These two teams are going to absolutely just put out a banger of a match in this. Well, they give them 10, 15 minutes, just go out there, tell a great story, and put on a great match. But to be honest, I think this is a stupid build. Not enough time. Too late. What's the point of these two teams? And you're pretty much... None of these teams can lose. The House of Black have done nothing except being featured on Dark and Elevation and Rampage. I mean, and then the Elite just literally won the titles in a best of 7. No, neither of these teams can lose. You can't play hot potato with the Trios title like you've been doing with TNT title. Right. Neither of these teams can really lose. So unless there's going to be some type of like blatant finish that's going to mess up everything, if I had to pick, this is tough because neither one of these teams can lose. I guess I'd pick probably the House of Black to win. They need a win badly. They need these titles. I think to make them put them over as the next big faction in AEW, but it's not going to help the Elite. So I'm going to go with the House of Black.
I'm going to say the opposite.
Okay.
I'm going to book it like this.
Okay.
The Elite retains via disqualification. Mm-hmm. They accidentally throw the black mist in the referee's face. The referee goes down and sees nothing. Mm-hmm. But when he wipes his eyes, he sees one of the House of Black. And I'm going to say, let me see, which one I'm going to say. Well, I'm going to say Julia Hart interferes in the match. And the referee rings the bell.
Okay.
The Elite retains the title via disqualification. And that is how the match ends. Now, the reason why I said it like that is that you protect everyone in the match. No one got pinned. No one submitted. No nothing. She came in the ring. The referee comes to. He sees what she does and rings the bell. Mm-hmm. That's it.
You're not wrong. It could happen.
It could happen. It could happen. It
This is
could
a tough one
happen.
to book, though. This is really tough.
Yeah,
I think
it is. It is tough.
AEW booked themselves in a corner on this one.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It is tough to book this match. Like I said, it's a pick 'em. It's a flip of
Yeah,
a coin.
it really is. You're right. And
It's
neither
a
one of
flip
these
of a
teams can lose. They can't lose. That's
no,
the problem.
no. They
Neither of these
can't.
teams can afford a loss.
They can't. They cannot lose this match. They can't.
No.
Um. Oh boy. All right. So let's talk about this next match. The AEW TNT Championship. Wardlow versus Samoa Joe.
I think this is an easy one.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is real
This
easy.
is an easy
This
one. We
is
know where this is going.
yeah. We all know. Wardlow will win the match, and he's going to
I
win
agree.
back. The Wardlow is going to he's going to take back the AEW
I agree with the
TNT
assessment.
title. Yes. Yes. They're going to be playing hot potato with the title again, ladies and gentlemen, because Tony Khan can't figure out who the hell is the champion. I don't know who it is, but Samoa Joe. It's almost like, you know what it's almost like, ladies and gentlemen? One of those rib dinners. And you bring out the rib dinner, and the first person eats the first rib, and then the second person says, well, you ate my rib dinner, I want it back. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. Wardlow wants the rib dinner and the whole 9 yards. He wants the TNT title back, and he's going to get it from Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Now, we could get a swerve, and Samoa Joe retains, but we all know Tony Khan likes playing hot potato with this title. So I believe that's where this is going to go.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, there's no reason why Samoa Joe should be retaining this belt at this point. The story is about Wardlow. Finally talked about why his ponytail was significant to him, because it has something to do with his father. So, I mean, he did that in the backstage interview with Jim Ross, which was great, but a little bit too late when they talked about it. But yeah, Wardlow needs to win this match. Wardlow needs to be the TNT champion, and Wardlow's got to have a nice, lengthy title reign, defending that title and keeping it around and stop playing hot potato with it. So, Wardlow become champ. Wardlow become champ, give him a good, strong reign, and then eventually build him up to eventually when he loses that belt to whoever takes it off of him, he can get ready for a feud against MJF in the future for the world title.
Right.
So,
okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this next match. The AEW Tag Team titles are up for grabs. And it's a fatal four-way. It is the Guns versus the Acclaim versus Jay Lethal and Jay Lethal and, of course, Orange Cassidy, Jeff Jarrett, yes, and, of course, Orange Cassidy and Dan Housen. This is an easy one, ladies and gentlemen, because me and Jeffrey are going to be on the same page. Yeah. The Guns will retain this title.
But are we on the same page of why they're going to retain the titles? That's the question.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Well, I'm going to save that. I'm going to table that, and I'm going to move it over to you, Jeffrey. What do you think of this match?
I mean, the match should be fine. Cassidy is great. I think Jarrett is not that bad in the ring. Jay Lethal I like. We know how good the Acclaimed are. We know how good the Guns are. So the match should be fine for what it is. But for me, obviously I believe I know you're going to agree with this one. The Guns are going to retain the belts. But to me, it's going to be because Daddy Ass is going to cost the Acclaimed the championship by turning on them, on the Acclaimed, and siding back with his boys.
Yep.
And then you'll see, like, they'll get taken out of the match, and then you'll have Danhausen get pinned.
Right.
And then that's how the Guns will retain. I think Colton Gunn will pin Danhausen. That's my prediction.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I agree with the assessment. Yep. I smell that a mile away.
By the way, this is going to become a banner now from now on.
Yes. The host of Mania. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I agree with the assessment. He's going to turn on them. He's going to go back to his sons, and that's it.
Then you build
The
up to
gun.
Double or Nothing.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're up to the main event
Mm-hmm.
of Revolution. And this is for the AEW title.
I can't wait for
It
this.
is MJF versus Bryan Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
The match is going to be, this is another match. There's two matches on this card that are match of the night worthy. And this is one of them.
Yeah.
This is one of them. This is going to be a ultimate banger.
Yes.
This is going to be an ultimate banger. And I'm going to say this on record right now. I'm going to say this to you. Bryan Danielson is going to give MJF a run for his money in this match.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He is going to give him a run for his money. This ain't going to be no squash.
No.
This ain't going to be no squash, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be so physical and so domineering. It is not even going to be funny. I think at one point of the match, I think Bryan will look like he's going to win the title, but we all know MJF will retain the AEW title. He'll give him a run for his money, but in the end, I think Bryan is just going to run out of gas. It's just going to be too much MJF for him to deal with. He won't be. I don't know if MJF can last the 60, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But he's gonna retain the title nonetheless. By hook or crook, MJF will retain this title. Jeffrey, what do you think?
I think this match is going to be great. I think people always keep trashing MJF because the guy can't wrestle. But you already saw a taste of what he can do when he wrestled against Takeshita a couple of weeks ago, how good MJF is. Go check out, if you want to check out an MJF match, go check out the match he had against Jungle Boy a few years ago on AEW Dynamite. I believe it was Fighter Fest or Fight for the Fallen, how good that MJF really is in the ring. And this is going to be the perfect example to display how great of a wrestler MJF is, and we know how good Bryan Danielson is. I mean, he's going to put on a clinic in this matchup. The one thing I'm looking forward to seeing is MJF is going to actually out-wrestle Danielson or keep up with him, or is he going to go to nefarious means by using like his diamond ring, or is he going to go with his another nefarious way to win this matchup because it is an Iron Man match, no rules, it's just who can get more pinfalls during the matchup to see who comes out as the victor during this whole thing. So the match is going to be great. The match is going to be terrific. Danielson's amazing. We're going to see, everybody's going to finally see how great MJF is in the ring. But yeah, MJF is going to win. It's just a question of how many pinfalls are we going to get and how is MJF going to win and retain that belt.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was excellent commentary by Jeffrey. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey. Ladies and gentlemen, just to let everybody know, just a reminder, we will be on the air on the Hardcore Sports Network this Sunday. Me, Jeffrey, and Mac the Giants fan, and I'm sure other people will be jumping on as well.
There's a lot of us that are going to be on there. Myself, you, Mac the Giants fan, Platform 246, Mitch Kofsky, Tyler from Philly Sports Talk Podcast. There's going to be like 6 or 7 of us that are going to be watching the pay-per-view.
Yeah, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're all going to come together for Revolution.
Yeah.
And we hope that you'll enjoy us because we have a long evening of matches.
Yeah.
So
that's an understatement.
Stick with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Get your coffee ready.
Right. We will navigate through those kind of waters, ladies and gentlemen. But ladies and gentlemen, that was Revolution. That was the prediction show for Revolution. And we hope that you were entertained as I brought it and Jeffrey and I brought it to you here on the Wrestling Experience. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to the final story of the night. And this was Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was on the recent sessions with Renee Paquette, and he addressed the rumors about WWE being interested in him. He was very vague about the situation, but he also made a very interesting statement. He said he fears he's wasting his time in AEW. That is not good. That's not good. He
Not
says,
good
and
for
I
Tony Khan.
quote, he said, sometimes the first thing that pops into my mind is probably how I really feel about AEW. Oh boy, this ain't good.
You think he's kayfabing
Uh,
though?
I don't know. I don't know. The first thing that comes into my mind wasn't a title or wasn't some kind of accolade. I feel like whatever I can contribute to wrestling, I want to be able to help the people in the next generation
Hmm.
realize the potential or possibly become quicker than I was able to. Um, at this time, I'm not telling you what WWE has said to me. However, he says the success is measured by my for myself. If I can help anyone give advice or push them into a certain direction that can lead to something good for them career wise down the road, that is where I am needed.
Hmm.
So one basically, I'm not going to read the entire article, but you definitely can read it for yourself and read between the lines.
Oh yeah.
It also says here that he has a good position in his AEW contract. However, his contract is almost expired.
Yeah.
So my question to you is: all of this here, this article, has some underlying tones to it.
Hmm.
Um, I think what's happening here is that I think he wants to say goodnight to AEW. And let me just explain this.
So you
If
think he's
he
WWE bound?
he was very vague and very coy and did not want to answer the question. So I'm going to say that I think he was on the phone with Triple H, and I think that they made some kind of verbal agreement that they're not sharing or revealing or
Possible.
anything else of that nature, which anything is possible. Anything here is possible.
I don't know how to feel about this. I really don't. Because I'll say this, Earl. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and they're going to be a package deal. So if Kenny Omega does go to WWE, the Young Bucks are going too. So I really wonder, and I think what really has been a seismic shift in the world of wrestling, people don't understand how big it was for Cody Rhodes to go to WWE. Cody Rhodes has a
Right.
lot of influence in the wrestling world, especially on AEW, and he was an EVP over there. And then him going back to WWE because of a falling out supposedly with Tony Khan and with the other EVPs. Cody Rhodes has a lot of friends all around the wrestling business. A lot of people respect Cody. A lot of people, go to Cody Rhodes for advice, especially younger wrestlers that are trying to get into the business or trying to, you know, forward themselves. And I think a lot of why maybe Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are thinking the way they are is because of what happened back at All Out with the brawl out at All Out between them and CM Punk and Ace Steel. I think that has a lot of things to do with it too, because we know Tony Khan didn't act like a boss in handling that situation. We know how much Tony Khan loves CM Punk, his favorite wrestler, and how much he booked him in that well. And I think a little bit of the power was taken away from the EVPs. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and maybe also at the same time, I don't know if you heard this article. It's been a dream of Kenny Omega. I don't know if he still feels this way, but he said it back in 2019 before they started up AEW that he wanted to have a WrestleMania match against AJ Styles before the both of them retired. And what's the one thing that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have never done in their wrestling career? Headline WrestleMania and had a proper WWE run. They had, dark matches or squash matches against WWE Town back in 2006. So you have to wonder if it has anything to do with what Tony Khan has been doing with AEW and how he's not been booking the show properly, with how he's taken power away from the elite, or maybe just they want to try themselves out at WWE and see how it's going to go. It's really just what do the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega got? And I'm lumping the Young Bucks with them because they're a package deal. And Kenny Omega's deal was actually originally supposed to expire in January, but because he got hurt all those months prior, they had tacked on all that injury time to his contract, so it's not going to be expiring until late 2023, and the Young Bucks are not going to be expiring until 2024. So AEW's got a lot of decisions to try to deal with, and they got FTR, who's going to be expiring in April as well. So, AEW is getting a big-time crossroads right now, and Tony Khan, you have really got to start putting on your A game and not something like we had last night, because if you don't, you know for a fact Papa H and Vince McMahon, they are going to do everything possible to destroy AEW and get rid of the competition, because they got FTR on their minds. They got Wardlow on their minds. They got MJF on their minds. They got Kenny Omega. They got the Young Bucks. They got Ricky Starks, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Acclaimed, Top Flight. All these young, talented people. Tony Storm, they would love to have back. Saraya, they'd love to have back. Riho, Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker. They'd love to have all these talents on AEW. And they're waiting for Tony Khan to self-destruct with how he's been booking this program. So this is a critical time for AEW. But in terms of Kenny Omega, I think a lot of it is kayfabe to make them, make the wrestling fans start panicking that are AEW marks are saying oh no, Kenny's putting out the red flag. He's going to go to WWE. I think it's the elite loves the troll, by the way. So I think some of it is troll job, and I think some of it is real. I think he would not mind going to WWE and giving it a shot over there. So it's really what you believe right now. I think some of it is just to set the world on fire. Same thing with what FTR has been doing recently with what Dax Harwood tweeted out about saying he misses us and how Tony Khan has been misbooking them in terms of the tag team division. So take it with a grain of salt a little bit when it comes to this stuff. But at the same time, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a very interesting time for wrestling free agents in both AEW and WWE, because WWE's got free agents too. So 2023 and the beginning of 2024 is going to be a very interesting time for the wrestling world going forward.
I agree with all of that. I do. I think what he was doing is he was trying to be as coy as possible. He was trying to be as vague as possible. And I also think in my infinite wisdom that he likes structured atmosphere. He doesn't like anything that looks circus like. And everybody has said that about Tony Khan and his management team, because let's just face it, Tony Khan doesn't know how to control a locker room. He just doesn't. The guy doesn't know how. All he knows is to be a fan. You can't be a fan and control a locker room. You can't be a fan and control a locker room. You have to drop that title and be a boss. And control the locker room, control the behavior, squash any beef that you have. Put that in the back burner. Don't make it become relevant on the internet for everybody to see, because it's an embarrassment. Exactly. You've been in business. It's not good, because you've been in business almost 5 years, and you look like a joke to people. And then when people leave AEW, they bash them.
It goes both ways. People that left WWE were bashing WWE.
Yes, but at least one thing, yes, they do bash them. But there is a difference. Right. Yeah. And that is because of who was driving the train.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the difference between AEW and WWE is that the locker room is more mature and more handled than AEW's
Well,
locker
I'll
room.
disagree real quickly with you saying matured. The second part you're saying is absolutely right. They are definitely more well handled, but I guarantee there's a lot of those people in WWE that are not happy and they're acting
Right.
like children too. It's just they
Right.
know Vince McMahon and Triple H have a structure in that company, like you mentioned earlier. Whereas AEW, where's the structure? It's just we're gonna go out there and we're gonna have a good time, and I'm gonna be a fanboy. That's pretty much what it is, and it's
Yeah,
all two
that's
reasons why the
all it
tide has
is.
turned. Yeah, the tide has turned
Yeah.
for two reasons. AEW was rolling; they were rolling this whole time, but it was two reasons why the tide has sort of turned back into WWE's direction. Triple H taking over creative, whatever we believe nowadays or not. Triple H taking over creative in WWE and the brawl out at All Out. That's where everything
Mm-hmm.
the tide turned. That's where everything turned from AEW swinging right into WWE's favor, and it
Yeah.
has
I
not
mean,
turned back since.
no. And then look what happened. Look what happened when William Regal left. What a
Yeah,
blow to AEW. What a
yeah.
blow.
And can you imagine they
And
lose the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the founding fathers?
that'll be a death nail in that
Yeah,
company
you lose your
because
EVPs
I mean,
for CM Punk of all people.
and that's another thing too. Is you see, this is the problem that I have, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
This is the problem that I have. This is the problem that I have with Tony Khan
Yeah.
is because he doesn't know how to control the locker room, and you
No, he
make the
doesn't.
locker room control. You make the wrestler control the locker room, and that should not be.
Hmm.
That should not be. You're ruining the atmosphere. You're
Yeah.
ruining potential. You're
Yeah.
ruining something that could
He
be
should have
good.
unplugged that microphone when CM Punk started going off about all that nonsensical stuff at All Out. He should have
Right,
unplugged his mic and said, "This is not the time. Talk about MJ or talk about John Moxley in the match." Tony
right,
Khan just sat there like a fan, or sat there like somebody that was scared to death to go against his favorite wrestler while he was just absolutely destroying his company within. That's where Tony
right.
Khan lost credibility a lot with the locker room because he
And
was the
he
reason
lost
why,
credibility with the fans too.
as he should. You didn't act like a boss. You want to be a boss? You tell CM Punk, not the time and place, you cut off his mic. This is not and that was not a promo. That was a legit shoot, what he did. He just buried his company right behind the scenes. And it was terrible. And AEW has not recovered since that incident.
No, he hasn't. No, they haven't because they keep having incidents after incidents after incidents.
Yeah. Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston, Andrade
Yes,
El Idolo and Sammy Guevara, Britt
yes,
Baker and Thunder Rosa,
yes.
backstage incident after backstage incident after backstage incident. It's
I
ridiculous.
mean, it's embarrassing.
It is. It's a children's
It's
playground.
embarrassing.
Children's
That's
playground without a teacher or a counselor.
that is why William Regal said working there was like Sesame Street.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. A high
And who do you think
caliber
he'd rather work
person.
for? Who would he rather work
Right.
for? His best friend, one of his best friends that he's known for years, that he helped build NXT with, or somebody that he worked with for maybe like what 6, 7, 8, 9 months, and is go in the back, but they've been in there, and he's like it was a mess. Of course.
Um, Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for my show. That's gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna put a bow in this. Jeffrey, I want to thank you again for coming on my show, and and
I
and
appreciate you having me on. Thank you, Earl.
and slicing a time out of your busy schedule to come here with
No,
me.
no, 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 no. No worries about it, man. It's a pleasure to be on the show. I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I appreciate you, and I will see you on Sunday, and I'll see you on Monday night as
Mm-hmm.
well. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for my show. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Experience returns on Thursday, and I'm going to rewind Revolution.
Mhm.
I'm going to explain to you what I liked, what I didn't, what I liked, what I didn't like, and everything else in between. So look for that next week
Thank
here
you.
on the Wrestling Experience. Thank you very much, Beyond the Script podcast. We greatly appreciate it.
We're almost about to hit that 2-hour mark too. Just about to hit the 2-hour mark as well.
Yes, yes.
Let's see if we can hit that 2-hour mark, Earl. Let's see if we can do it, and we'll be able to hit that 2-hour mark, unlike Omos and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's not going to be a hit, by the way. That's going to be a straight up miss. Or gymnastics, Bray Wyatt going against Bobby Lashley.
Exactly.
How ridiculous that's going to be, too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for Jeffrey Turner, I'm Earl Cole. We will see you again this Sunday for Revolution live stream here on the Hardcore Sports Network. Have a great weekend, everyone. Jeffrey, have a great Friday. And, of course, have a great stream, and I'll see you in cyberspace.
Awesome power of nature, hot excitement.
Because after you get struck by lightning,